Right, so a couple of days ago, I uploaded a video on Lauren The Mortician, who is a TikToker who has been involved in a lot of drama recently, and it was a half-an-hour video. There was a lot of stuff to get through, a lot of information, and I was just trying my best to keep you guys updated. Well, in true MARKIE fashion, basically just a couple of minutes after I uploaded that video, they started, like, arguing again. You know, the drama restarted, basically meaning my video wasn't updated anymore, so, thanks for that. But at least we can make a part 2. Swings and roundabouts, I guess. And what's actually funny about this whole situation, and like I said in my previous video talking about Lauren The Mortician, I saw a bunch of comments when I was first hearing about this saying that this is kind of like the TikTok version of Illuminati. Illuminati being the YouTuber we've been talking about for like the past year who's been involved in a bunch of drama, you know, not like the actual like Illuminati. Am I allowed to do that? I don't know what the rules are with the actual Illuminati, and I'm kind of scared of them, so I will avoid doing that in the future. But yeah, like I said, a bunch of people are comparing this to Illuminati the YouTuber. And to be fair, even with these newer updates that we're about to talk about, it's quite similar. Like, you remember when all this information was coming out about Illuminati, you know, people talking about their experience with Illuminati? She kind of stayed silent for a bit and then released her first statement video. I think it was called, like, Illuminati Exposed. And that's kind of what's happened here. Lauren The Mortician was silent for a few days, and just yesterday as I'm recording this video, has now decided to actually release a statement. And as we'll get onto later in the video, it seems like there is potentially some inconsistencies in this story. But, I mean, of course, that is just all allegations. I'm basically just telling you guys, well, other people have said, you know, who were involved in the situation. I wasn't there. So, Jeanette, if you are watching this, nothing to see here. You can probably click off.
Hi. I called in a wellness check on another creator, and I wanted to talk to you about that, but I need you to understand that there are certain things that I cannot legally talk about.
Okay, so straight away, first things first, Lauren The Mortician has not only confirmed that the whole wellness check thing was real, but she's also said that she was the one who called it in. But yeah, we're about to get to her reasoning, which actually needs a lot more context than what she gives it.
The amount of people putting my face on blast and making multiple part videos that are lies about me is just ridiculous. Of everyone thinking they're going to one up the other and expose me on something that I did. So I'm just going to expose myself and just tell you what I did and why I did it. But first, I'm going to tell you a little backstory. I have been dealing with online stalking, bullying, and harassment consistently for the last 2 months. It has not stopped. It is to the level that the normal person would probably unalive themselves with the amount of shit I have been through. My address was leaked, my real name, along with my funeral director license, was all put on blast and put out to the world to see.
Okay, so obviously she's describing how her last couple of months have been, and if this is all true, obviously, that sounds fucking horrible. Now, what is worth mentioning is the stuff that she's saying right here doesn't relate to Kitty, or at least I don't believe it does. I imagine what she's talking about here, because she doesn't say otherwise, is like fans or like viewers who have seen the drama revolving around Lauren The Mortician, and you've seen this situation a million times on the internet. People get overly involved, start leaking personal information, doxing and whatnot. It's disgusting. It's not acceptable. But I don't believe that this stuff relates to Kitty, who was the person who ended up getting the cease and desist and the wellness check. That is for a different reason, it seems.
I had to have cops come to my house the other day to take a report. Like, this has all escalated to a point that is beyond reason. And this all began over a campaign to get me canceled over some dumb shit that I liked on Instagram. I'm not a TERF. I'm not transphobic. I'm not homophobic. I am none of those things. I follow left and right creators. I can even like something if I don't agree with it.
Okay, right, so a few things off the bat. This whole situation isn't just a campaign that started due to Lauren liking some posts on Instagram. Yes, that was part of the many situations that happened, but I did just upload a half-an-hour video talking about Lauren The Mortician and all the situations that have happened over the last few weeks, and I mean, as you can probably imagine by the length of the video, it wasn't just to do with the Instagram likes. In fact, that was probably like a 30-second segment in the whole video. There was a lot of stuff that had happened. But if we are going to talk about the Instagram likes, there were a lot of them. There were a lot that were very anti-LGBTQ. There was like a lot of anti-transgender captions and whatnot. There was a lot of posts that have came out. Now, Lauren here says that she follows creators on the left and the right and whatnot, which might be true. I don't know. I haven't checked all her following. But she also says that she will like posts even if she doesn't agree with them, which I don't really get. Like, I don't think I've ever just scrolled down Instagram before and seen something that could come across as pretty fucking hateful, and I personally disagree with it, before, you know what, I'll leave it a like anyways. So I do find that a little odd, I can't lie, but maybe she does that. Who am I to say she doesn't? I mean, tell me your opinions in the comment section.
I was sent an email that told me that if I did not own up to being transphobic, more defamatory content was going to be made about me to continue this hate campaign.
Yeah, okay, so the way she words this is a lot more harsh than what the actual reality is. Now, one thing I will say, this email that was sent to Lauren that was apparently from a fan, this is what we thought in the last video, right? This is what we heard. It was from a fan who was also a creator, and they were reaching out to be like, is this stuff true that I'm hearing about you? I hope it's not true. That is what we heard before, and then because of that, they've received a cease and desist. And as much as Lauren is over-exaggerating the situation here, what we heard in the last video is kind of under-exaggerated. Is that word? Under-exaggerating? I don't know. It was downplaying it a little bit. It's kind of in the middle, you know? This person did actually reach out to Lauren, and they were a little bit more like... Oh, God, I keep saying words I don't know the meaning of. Fuck. They were a little bit more stern. We'll say that. That works, I think. They were a little bit more stern in the email. They weren't just asking questions. They were giving their opinions too, and they were basically saying... I mean, we'll get to the email, but they were basically saying, like, if this is really the stuff that you believe in, people are going to carry on making videos. It wasn't so much, oh, if you don't apologize for this, I'm going to make this really harsh video on you and all this stuff. The actual creator themselves has never actually made a video on Lauren, but it was a little bit more stern than what we originally thought, but by no means did it deserve a cease and desist, especially if that is the only email that this creator received, which we haven't seen anything to think otherwise yet. And also, it is worth mentioning, before Lauren was really getting any hate at all, she did go after some small creators. I mean, there's that situation in the last video where she was talking about the car seat and she didn't really know what she was talking about. Then a professional tells her, like, look, your information is incorrect. This is the correct information. Wasn't really that harsh at all. And then Lauren responded that by making a post insinuating that he is a creepy guy who just has, like, kids' equipment in his house for no reason, and completely ignored the fact that it's literally his job. He was a child passenger safety technician. So if that isn't attacking a creator for little to no reason, then I don't know what is.
And I can tell you right now that this person was not a fan of mine. Nowhere in that email did I ever get the understanding that they even liked me. Immediately sent this email to Jeanette, my lawyer.
Jeanette. We love Jeanette on this channel. Obviously, you probably sense the sarcasm there. Genuinely, one of the most bizarre cease and desist I think you could ever come across. If you haven't seen that in my last video, I would recommend looking for that cease and desist towards the end, because it was genuinely insane. The most unprofessional thing you'll ever see. Just completely gaslighting someone, using mental health against them. It was so strange, so bizarre. But yeah, let's hear what happened after you sent the email over to Jeanette. I mean, knowing Jeanette, she probably made a very rational decision, right?
She sent them a cease and desist.
A cease and desist off one email is mental. Like, I know she's trying to claim that she's being, like, stalked and stuff. I hope she's not trying to use that against this creator specifically, because it's one email.
Then, another girl named Kitty, who also makes content on this app, emailed my lawyer Jeanette directly to Jeanette. Nothing came to me, right to the lawyer, and she tried to blackmail my lawyer. Okay,
again, Lauren is missing out a lot of key details in the story to make people look worse. The reason why Kitty reached out to the lawyer is because she got a copyright takedown in one of her videos, and on the information of the takedown, it said it came from Jeanette. So according to Kitty, and we haven't seen anything to suggest otherwise yet, the reason she reached out to Jeanette was to say, like, what the fuck's going on with this takedown? Are you actually representing Lauren here? To me, that doesn't seem like an outrageous response. If I got a copyright takedown on one of my videos, I would also email the creator. In fact, I did that, like, a month or two ago when I got a strike.
Kitty made it clear in the email that she was working with the first girl to extort and blackmail me together.
Okay, look, there's obviously a chance that there's something I am not made aware of right now, but the problem is, in Lauren's whole response here, she shows no proof. Whereas the other creators that we'll get to eventually have showed proof. So it's like, it's hard to believe Lauren in this case, but from the email that we'll get to eventually, there was no blackmailing involved, and when she says that Kitty and this anonymous creator were working together, according to Kitty, as we can see in this comment right here, she has said that the other girl told me about Jeanette the day before, and in brackets, our first message by the way, but I genuinely thought JB was a rogue fan. So according to Kitty, this wasn't some big like conspiracy to try and like take down Lauren. They actually only ever spoke for the first time the day before the email was sent out, and again, Kitty's first message to Jeanette was to do with the copyright takedown. Now look, I will say again, I don't know for 100% fact that this is definitely the way it went, of course, but like I mentioned, other people have used proof, Lauren hasn't. We'll get to the email that was sent out by this anonymous creator later on in the video, and it's not really the way that Lauren's describing it, so it kind of raised some red flags.
My lawyer never once said that they would be facing jail time over not giving me a public apology. That is a false narrative being spread.
Like I said, we'll get to the email in just a second. I'm sorry for like teasing you, but we kind of have to get through this video first. But there is a mentioning of potential jail time in the email, and maybe you can phrase it in a way to make it seem like it's not true, but there is a mention of it.
Purposefully made a video and put it out to hurt me and gather the masses against me.
But yeah, you did a similar thing with the child passenger safety technician. I mean, you made a post saying like, oh, why would you trust him? Trying to make him seem creepy. She went on podcasts and spoke about it and was like, what does this guy know? I'm a mother. He hasn't even got kids. And still trying to make him seem creepy. Like, you've done similar stuff before. I just don't personally think that people woke up one day and thought, you know what? Let's go against Lauren. You know, let's spread some stuff about Lauren just for the sake of it. She's done nothing wrong, but let's do it.
If it was really her intention to not hurt me, and just to clarify a few things, because her and I use similar calling cards with the Beetlejuice, then she would have just come out and said that in the video. She would have said, hey guys, this is what's happened. I want you to know that I am not Lauren, okay? But no, she started the video off like Lauren the Mortician is a TERF, which I am not. I am not. Everyone watching this, you only have one side of the story. You don't have both. And they are cherry picking what they want to tell people, and people are falling for it. Calls were made to the non-emergency number for a wellness check.
Okay, so this is interesting actually, because Becca Day, who's been covering this on her TikTok account, has said that she's actually heard the police calls in general. And I believe she says that it was actually a 911 call. And like I said, she says that she's heard the calls. And to her, in her own words, it's the most damaging stuff. The stuff that they mention in the call, the way they word it, is the most damaging part of all of this. And I believe Kitty is just waiting for confirmation from her lawyer to release the calls. Again, speculation. I haven't heard the calls, so I don't know. This is just what we've heard.
She talks about needing to ingest blood to survive. She talks about eating organs. She talks about doing demonic things.
Okay, so when I first heard this, I was like, okay, what the bloody hell is going on here? Because obviously I didn't really know any of these creators before all this, so I was like, what type of content are we talking about here? Like demonic, blood eating, or whatever it is. But then I started looking in the comment sections of these videos, and we got people saying, and the wellness check on Kitty. LTM said that she comments about eating organs and drinking blood. If you watch Kitty's content, you know it's satire. Kitty even posted this TikTok, which I think is now deleted, but it says, for those that are new here, and it's an article on Daily Mail about Kitty that says, if you can creep them out, they leave you alone. Woman reveals clever ways she deals with men who harass her in the street, including threatening to sell their numbers to organ harvesters. And she has put, context is important as for everything else, interesting timeline game theory, incorrect but interesting at least, gives me insight into some of the wilder parts of the cease and desist I got, we will discuss. Yeah, so according to Kitty and a bunch of her followers, this is a shtick that she's been doing for a while and it's all satire. Again, I don't know 100% because I haven't watched many of Kitty's videos. The only ones I've watched is to do with this situation in general, but apparently this is the thing. But still, I would like to think that we can all agree that sending the police for a wellness check on someone that you don't even know, you have no idea about their situation, and you're only basing it on something that could have been a character in a TikTok video, seems a bit mad. It seems like a big overreaction. And even more than that, it's obviously a very big invasion of privacy too.
It was concerning. I do not think that anybody in their right and reasonable frame of mind would be making that type of content and continuing this spiral. Calling for a wellness check was not meant to be a swatting. No one called 911. I was genuinely concerned because of her unhinged posts and her actions. I have seen what happens, okay? I've seen when people lose it. I've seen the aftermath of it. I've seen what unaliving oneself looks like, and not 100% saying she was going to do that, but this was not rational behavior from someone of sound mind. This really did come from a place of concern because I thought she was going to do something to herself or to somebody else. Nothing about what she has been talking about is rational behaviors. This will be my only time addressing this on social media. This is my truth, my story. If you don't agree with it, if you don't believe me, you can unfollow me or block me, but leave me alone. I do not know how another creator on this app can call themselves a TikTok journalist when all they do is post one side of the story, just one, in an effort to defame another creator.
I do love this, right? When someone says something along these lines, like, why are you posting one side of the story, when they haven't given their side of the story yet? Like, up until this point, we hadn't heard anything really from Lauren, apart from a few quick posts here and there that we obviously mentioned in the last video, but we hadn't really heard much, especially regarding Kitty and this whole lawyer situation. We hadn't even heard anything, so how are you meant to give another side of the story when you haven't decided to give the other side of the story. It's a very bizarre take, I can't lie, but it's one that a lot of creators use.
On this app. This is not a joke. This is my life, my real life. And when you make content calling someone transphobic, a TERF, homophobic, all of these really hurtful things, there are real life consequences for doing that. If you take my images to defame me, to spread malicious lies about me, then I have the right to come after you to get that content taken down. You have the right to free speech.
I mean, not really, right? If someone posts a screenshot of you liking a post that you did like on Instagram, the screenshot is real, and then they give their thoughts on the fact that you've liked it, you really shouldn't have the right to just take it down. There's a thing called fair use, right? We've heard this in many cases on YouTube, right? Where someone's been falsely flagged for copyright, the video's been taken down, and it eventually goes to court, and lo and behold, turns out you can actually use content under fair use. This is something that we've seen a lot on the internet since videos have started being posted. But it does seem like Lauren the Mortician is either unaware of this or just refuses to believe it. Also, I feel like I keep saying Mortician. Did I say Mortician there? I'm sorry if I do. I said it in the last video too. I don't know what's going on with me.
Well, you don't have the right to take my content and use it to lie about me while making a profit off of my face, my image, my everything. You don't get to make a profit off of my shit. Every day, like clockwork, you all are making new videos about me. There's some new information that I didn't even know about myself that now all of a sudden is getting spread through the internet.
Okay, so, but what's your response to the whole situation with the child passenger safety technician? How do you justify that? The fact you went on podcasts and whatnot and made posts insinuating that he was some creepy guy and he doesn't know what he's talking about, even though it's his profession he's been doing for over a decade. What's your response to that? Because you were clearly doing the same stuff beforehand.
If you are going to take my images to further your social media career with lies, then I have the right to come after that content and get it taken down. I understand that not everybody is going to like me. That's okay. But when you are spreading lies that then lead to death threats on not only my life, but my children's life, that I cannot have that.
Look, this is something that we hear in a lot of these situations, and unfortunately there is this very vocal minority that do send disgusting messages. Even people who aren't even involved in drama. If you are just a creator who is online, you put your life online, you probably get some disgusting messages on like a day-to-day basis or a weekly basis or even maybe just a couple of times a year, but you will get these messages. And under no circumstances are their messages acceptable. I don't think any of us would say they are. So that part I absolutely agree with. I highly doubt anyone watching this video is one of the people sending them messages, but if you are, I mean, it's completely unacceptable. It's disgusting. But when Lauren keeps saying, like, this is all lies, people keep posting lies and stuff like that, I just wish you would show some proof. Like, give us something that we can work with here. A screenshot, you know, like an email or just something. Something from your point of view, but we've got nothing. All we've got is just Lauren talking at this point. But shortly after this video was posted, we got a video by Becca Day, who had been in contact with this anonymous creator who sent the email, which according to Lauren is like a disgusting email where she's like blackmailing her and whatnot. And Becca Day actually decides to read the email. Like, we get some proof here. And not only that, we also get some more information as well throughout this video. And yeah, we'll give it a watch.
Good morning, Lauren. I'm reaching out to you to see if you have any further comments on being caught interacting with extremist right content and hateful anti-trans posts as well. I have several people reaching out to me stating they have been blocked just for simply asking for an explanation. With a big platform, it is your duty to lead with an honest approach, and many people feel like that isn't what's happening. If you have those beliefs, that is shameful, but you do you. However, backing something you don't believe in is very harmful for so many. Conservative Anthony is known to hate the gay community. He condemns the community for many reasons. If that is truly what you want to back and believe in, you need to be honest and upfront. People make mistakes, but only guilty people will try to hide and dodge the real questions. Silencing people is a horrific thing to do.
Okay, so far so good. Nothing over the top here, just asking the questions and saying, why did you like these posts? What's your opinions on them? Why are you supporting someone who said this stuff? It's someone who is just concerned over the content that they've seen, and they've reached out to the creator privately, by the way. It hasn't just posted a video. In fact, I still believe they haven't posted a video to this day, and they've just reached out privately. But I guess we'll get to the point in the email now where Lauren's trying to say it's blackmail. doesn't come across like that to me personally.
Opportunity to clear the slate before more deep dives are released with even more proof of these issues. I just want to share really quick that this person has never posted about Lauren. She's never posted deep dives. She's never posted any commentary. She's never posted anything publicly about Lauren ever. This was her just stating the inevitable fact that if she doesn't come out and address it, people are going to continue to make content about this situation. Again, as someone who has been hated for their sexual orientation, I'm speaking for the group as a whole. We can keep blocking people and dodging comments, or we can be a grown-up and talk about these things head on. The ball is in your court, just please be honest. You have hurt so many, and silencing the majority will not fly. Again, if you have those beliefs, don't hide behind them, own them. Your actions got you here. One last thing, since you're a mortician, I highly recommend you look up the autopsies for Kyle Rittenhouse's victims. He shot those men in the back as they ran away. They were protesters running away from a child with an assault rifle. He illegally carried that assault rifle across state lines, which makes it obvious that he had intent to harm people. Again, Kyle had the intention to hurt a certain group of people. He was so full of hate that he showed up with an assault rifle and slaughtered people.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Lauren the Mortician has said about that situation specifically. I'm assuming, judging by the email, again, I'm not 100% sure here. I'm assuming she has said a different opinion to what actually happened. I'm not sure. But regarding the whole blackmailing thing, doesn't come across like that to me. This creator has said, like, look, you need to address this, otherwise there's going to be a bunch more videos on you, which is a fact. That's just how the internet works, right? This is something that we see on a day-to-day basis. That is just a fact. I don't see that as blackmailing in the slightest, especially when it's coming from someone who has never made any content revolving around Lauren. In fact, all I've decided to do is just reach out privately. So yeah, is the email a little bit more stern than what we originally thought? Definitely is. It's definitely more stern. But is it so out of order that it deserves a cease and desist? Absolutely not. It's someone who is not happy with Lauren's behaviour and is questioning the behaviour, and they have every right to do that, in my opinion. And yeah, it's very different to what Lauren was describing.
I am only putting that part in this email just in case you have not been educated on that certain situation. We will not let you continue to exploit the gay community for views and likes. If we are not welcome in your world, then make that known. Again, none of us are being mean. We just want an open door discussion, removing our genuine questions and leaving up your followers. Hateful anti-gay comments is an atrocity. Have a good day. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a bit more stern than what we originally thought, but it's not that overly bad, like to the point where it deserves like legal threats. It's someone who strongly disagrees with what you've been saying and is telling you that they disagree with you, and they're telling you the reasons why. And if you wanted to ignore that email, you have every right to do so, and from what we know, this is the only email that was sent from this creator, so how that's resulted in a cease and desist? I'm kind of confused. Okay, so also in Becca Day's video, we actually have a screenshot of the cease and desist, and it says, I am Lauren the Mortician's federal civil attorney, and I'm in receipt of your email below. The email address is blah 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 blah, is associated with both of you. You both are hereby demanded to immediate cease your malicious activities, which include sending emails and posting on Reddit and other social media platforms, blackmail, harassing, extortion, defaming, and false light claims against my client. These actions are not only morally reprehensible, but also illegal. And then they've also included like a section on harassment here, which like kind of gives the definition, and then also says, under federal law, faces up to 5 years in prison and a $250,000 fine. So when Lauren says in her video, oh, that was never mentioned, jail time was never mentioned, a fine was never mentioned, Bailey, are you okay, mate? I don't know if you could pick that up on the mic, but his tail is going 100 miles an hour just smacking into my desk, and it's very loud. I know. But yeah, when Lauren mentions the fact that the fine was never mentioned, and like the prison time was never mentioned, it definitely was, if this is true. Of course. Allegedly. All that stuff. We're going a bit further on here, and it says, further, you are demanded to issue a public apology to my client, recanting? Ooh, that's a word I've never seen before. All of the false information and overall false narrative you have posted and organised others to post. You have 72 hours from the date of this email to comply with the demands above. I mean, to me, if I read that, I would see that as a bit of a threat. Kind of saying like, look, you have 72 hours, and if you don't, you could face some jail time. Unless full settlement is reached by Friday, November 10th, 2023, my client reserves all rights and powers to pursue all civil avenues available to her to remedy the damages you have caused, alone and in combination. Something's been blurred out there. And this is why it's really hard to kind of believe Lauren's side on a lot of this stuff, because she doesn't show any proof, whereas other people are showing proof. They're showing the email that apparently involved blackmail. I personally don't think it did. She also seemingly has lied about what was said in the cease and desist, saying that jail time was never mentioned and a fine was never mentioned, when allegedly it was, unless this is a fake cease and desist, which should be easily proven, right? If it is fake and have just edited this, Lauren could easily make a video being like, that's fake, here's the real one. But we get nothing from Lauren. No proof, no screenshots, no nothing. And it just makes it hard to really believe her. So when she's saying, like, why are people only showing one side of the story? That's why. You haven't given anyone anything to work with. But yeah, either way, that is all the updates that I've seen currently. There's probably going to be some more minutes after I upload this video. But yeah, that's what we've got so far. I would love to know your thoughts in the comment section down below on everything that we spoke about. And yeah, if you did enjoy, please do leave a like down below, subscribe if you are new. And until the next one, I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright, goodbye.